Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the etrailer Kayak carrier with tie downs here on our 2020 Mazda CX-30. Now, kayak carriers are going to be a great way to get a host of fun. We are going to have a very easy time getting up our kayak carrier on here, and I think the Mazda does an excellent job. As you can see, not going to be too much height that we're going to have to be working against. Our kayak carrier sits very nicely on the edge here, and you are seeing that we are getting these nice little posts to help us really mount our carrier. So I am a big fan of the etrailer Kayak carrier here in our Mazda, as you guys can probably tell as I'm talking about it. With 150-pound weight capacity as well, we're going to have no trouble getting a host of different kayaks up on here. The only thing that I would keep in mind on here is that our hatch actually makes just a little bit of contact here on the very back end. Now, it's not going to be damaging the vehicle in any way, and it's definitely going to get us a lot of room still with that hatch. So in my estimates, we're definitely going to be able to work with it. Just be careful. As you can see, we have a pretty standard kayak size up on here. Mazda, definitely a little bit more compact, so if you are looking at a bigger kayak, I'm just saying this vehicle might not be the best way of actually transporting those kayaks. However, does a very good job with these standard builds, so just be careful of exceeding that kind of size as we go down. Well, we also get a lot of great little tie downs with this kit as well, and I think that's one of the big advantages that you're going to see from this carrier. Now, this carrier isn't going to have all the bells and whistles that a lot of the more premium ones might have, like the J-Lo. However, you are still getting a lot of great contact points, and in fact, we really push this kind of strap kit for a host of different carriers, as you are getting a lot out of it. You'll notice pretty nice little kind of braided cord here, not going to be doing anything any too crazy. Nice and thick though, won't be fraying right away. Couple really great features though. You are seeing this little nylon tie down. You can see a lot of times when you have this extra strap, it starts just kind of getting loose. We're trying to tie it, it doesn't work. It's going to start flapping off as we go down the road. This way it is going to stay nice and concise to the rest of our strap. On the inside too, you see we have that nice little orange cam buckle, great to let us know where we are, but you'll probably see that I have this little covering that I'm pulling down across it on the back. That does a great job of making sure we don't have any kind of damage to our kayak with that cam buckle. And if we are kind of taking this down and our strap were to fall, that way that cam buckle won't be smashing on our roof, causing any kind of damage. It will be softened by that little covering. That way we don't have any damage to our kayak or to our vehicle. You will notice too, we are getting some bow and stern tie downs as well. We'll break those down just here in a little bit. Those are great for making sure that our kayak is going to stay nice and secure to our carrier. We'll be oscillating, getting any kind of like wind gust pulling it off of our carrier. Does a great job of making sure it is nice and secure. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at how we got those tie downs to work. So our bow and stern straps are very, very nice. You're going to see we are also getting that nice little cam buckle kind of system with this guy as well. Very easy to throw in our top point of our kayak, loop it through itself, and start running our extra strap. On the other end is a little bit unique from a lot of carriers you might see out there. We do have a nice little commonly referred to as dog bone anchor here. You're going to see you're getting this nice little padded kind of block here. Now all it has to do is stick inside our vehicle, and it gives us a great little temporary mounting point. So no longer are we trying to find a little place to hook into. We're not fighting ourselves, only limited to where one little contact is going to work. This way I can go ahead, toss this inside of my vehicle, close that door, and it will be nice and attached. Now the Mazda, definitely a bit more compact, so that strap that we actually have running through the top right now is actually pretty long. So I want to make sure we are doing a good job. Can be very helpful to get that all the way across. You start seeing yourself close here on the Mazda, it's just a little bit too short. As you guys can probably tell, not too much room between that kayak and ourselves, so definitely something to keep your eye out on. However, these guys work really great. We just have to toss them in and we are good to go. While we're here though, I want to go ahead and make sure we take a look at what kind of contact we are talking about here. On the very top of our hatch, you'll see that we are right there on that rear windshield wiper. However, not going to be doing anything crazy. We are getting full extension on our hatch, so it's definitely something to my mind. If it was me, I'll definitely make this work. I'd just definitely be careful with that hatch. Wouldn't allow it to go all the way up, and just be careful as we bring it up. However, not going to be doing any kind of damage to us today. So we've already gone ahead and removed our bow and stern straps. Again, that was really easy to do, even for that front section. We just take that dog bone out, close our hood, and we're good to go. But that does bring us to our mounting points here on our main side of our kayak. Again, as you can see, we do have that extra strap just kind of hanging in there. I like to just go ahead and pop it out all the way. That does bring us to our cam buckle again, and that nice little covering, easily shifted up by our hands. Then we can just press in and start releasing our strap. So I do want to point out how we have this today though. So you saw this was running in together here. And what's happening is we're actually looped through our top hook on our J-style, bringing both of our straps across our kayak. And then we want to bring our extra strap through the bottom of our roof rack system. That's great. That way we actually are securing to our roof rack, and we're just helping out our carrier actually hold on to our kayak. Then I like to bring it through my carrier as well and bring it back to my other side of my connection. Makes it really good. That way we only have constant pressure pushing our kayak into our carrier. We don't want anything pulling it away from the carrier. That way we get nice constant pressure. And to release this, all I have to do is simply pull this all the way through. So now that we have our mounting straps off, I want to go ahead and actually take down my kayak. And I think the Mazda does a good job, again, as you mentioned, of being a nice kind of shorter vehicle for ourselves. Not going to be reaching up too high. To get this actually kind of moved towards us, I like to pivot the kayak to where I kind of push the bottom in, allowing that top to rotate to me, and that way I can get underneath the kayak and lift it off our vehicle. So I like to go ahead and kind of shove this against our carrier. You can kind of see how that design allows us to do that. We can go ahead and let this kind of rock back. Now most of the weight is actually on our carrier here at the bottom, so it's not going to be too heavy for me to get in this position. That way we can make sure we are nice and set. Can be really helpful, especially if you guys are alone. And now we can go ahead and get our kayak off. So here we are actually with our carrier now. Now it is going to be made of a lightweight aluminum, which is going to make it A, yes, lightweight, but B, pretty resistant to all that corrosion we might have. Aluminum way better in those elements. Can definitely see ourselves having to leave this on here for a while. On here too, you are seeing we have nice little foam blockers on either end. I am a very big fan of these. They are nice and thick. Gonna be holding up well to weather too, as they don't feel very porous to me. I think they're doing a good job making sure that our kayak isn't gonna have any damage as it sits there. The rubber padding in the middle too has a nice little kind of springboard action that might do a good job of kind of reducing any kind of flop that our kayak might feel. Hopefully most of our kinetic energy can be pushing down into that little element there. That won't be bouncing up against our straps. Now, of course, one of the biggest things with the kayak carrier though is that in this position, it is also collapsible. So you can see those levers just kind of pinch down to the side. That way if we had to, a very wide kayak, we go ahead, kind of go all the way that way if we really had to. Of course, not doing a great job in that position, but he had a very thick kayak, as you can see, gonna definitely be doing a good job of fitting most of them in here. Again, with that 150-pound capacity, not gonna be too much of an issue. However, if we did wanna go ahead and pull this in the garage or maybe through a drive-through somewhere, we actually do have a way of quickly shortening down that height. So you can see, gonna do a very good job of actually shortening that down. So let's go ahead and actually see what we're actually working with here dimension-wise. So we can go ahead and I'll go ahead and put it in this kind of upright position as much as we can, because I think this is our maximum height that we would get out of it. From the roof of our car to the top of our kayak here, our kayak carrier is putting us right at 21.5 inches in that position. So definitely a little bit of length to consider, especially if you had that kayak up in there. Keep in mind, it's gonna be a little bit more, but we can go ahead and shorten this down in almost no time at all, as you guys can see. And in this position, our front mount is actually gonna be our farthest point, and that puts us right at almost right above 9 inches. So about 9 1/4 being the tallest point to the right here, guys, from that roof of that car. So definitely not gonna be too much height being added to our vehicle. Well, that also brings us to our mounting point. You know, if that is a little too tall, and even with that collapsing, if we don't like it, we do have a way of quickly taking it off. All we have to do is spin these guys off. And as you can see, this flange just kind of goes straight around our carrier here. Makes it very easy to hold this on. Now, the one thing I will say with this, not a lot of great security measures. As you can see, there's no locking core, nothing that can actually kind of bite into here and make sure that this stays attached to our vehicle. So you can see, yes, that this flange, very easy to take on and off. It means it's also easy for other people to take on and off. Now, we always kind of recommend just kind of taking this guy off, throw him in the vehicle if you are worried about it. However, if it is a security element that you're very concerned on and you don't want to have to take the kayak carrier off and on all the time, I definitely recommend taking a look at the lock them in J-Lo. You're gonna get a nice little locking core set that's gonna allow us to, yes, still have that nice adjustable J-style, but still just allowing us to keep it on our vehicle at all time. Well, as you guys saw, I think the etrailer Kayak Carrier brings a lot of great elements. Yeah, it's missing some of those more top-notch premium features. However, we are still getting a great carrier and a great tie-down kit to do it. So if you're primarily looking just a great way of starting to get your kayaks to the lake or river, wherever you're taking it, I think this is still going to be an excellent option. I am a very big fan of the padding, so if you are worried about your kayak sustaining any damage, I think this is going to be a great way of making sure we have a nice, stable platform to make sure we get where we want to go. Well, I think that about does it for our look at the etrailer Kayak Carrier here on our 2020 Mazda CX-30. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.